Okay, guys, so for this Trauma Tip Tuesday, we're going to discuss some things that are traumatizing that you may not be aware of or even think that are traumatizing. Now, this goes past, blatant abuse, physical, sexual abuse is traumatic, period. I'm not going to argue that. But when you're a child growing up with narcissists, growing up in a home, growing up in a space where there's no safety, this is traumatic. When you cannot find the people, when your parents do not allow a safe place for you to voice your concerns, voice your feelings, when they don't show you how to feel your feelings, this is traumatic for you, the child. When you're growing up in homes where there's lots of yelling, there is like unchecked anger, this is abusive. This is also very, very traumatic. And when you're constantly surrounded by people who cannot regulate their nervous systems, who don't know how to keep their feelings in checks, who don't know how to feel their feelings, and that often gets put onto you, the child, this is traumatic. Again, like when you have no safe place to retreat to, this is traumatic. And this can lead to dissociation. Like if you struggle with any of like dissociation, any of the ABC, like ADHD, CPTSD, PTSD, autism, these kind of things, you have suffered some kind of trauma in your past, and now like it's up to you to figure out like what this is. Like any kind of neglect is traumatic. Not being met in your basic needs, like not having your emotions met, not having your basic needs met, food, water, safety, a roof over your head, having the comfort of money. Poverty is traumatic. To never experience the feeling of safe enough, of like just relaxation, is traumatic. Being stuck in a flight in a trauma response, flight, fight, freeze, fawn. These are traumatic responses. If you struggle with any of these, it's because you have experienced trauma on some level in your life. And like, you don't have to be yelled at or physically hit to suffer from trauma. Like, it's often these acts of not being seen, not being heard. These are enough, and they compound over time. If you look back and you start realizing, dude, I was never heard as a kid. My parents didn't see me. They didn't acknowledge me. Nobody acknowledged my feelings. And you will find out very quick that you, as an adult today, you're not seeing yourself. You're not knowing yourself. You're not hearing yourself because nobody taught you how. And this whole thing in itself is extremely traumatic. It is traumatic to not have people around you that give you this sense of safety to be your authentic self. Not being able to be your authentic you, developing codependency, not having a self, is due to trauma. Like the trauma of not having a safe home, a safe place, a safe person to help guide you through your emotions, through your feelings, through your experiences. It is extremely traumatic when you don't have this. And I think so many people are walking around traumatized and they don't even know it. They don't even understand why. Like, people don't talk about this, and I feel it's very important to like get this information out there to help people like start awakening and becoming aware of like, whoa, maybe I do carry some trauma. Maybe I was not beaten or hit or like in the obvious ways traumatized, but these little jabs, these little things where you as the child and now you as the adult feel like you cannot, like you have to hide yourself, you can't let your full spectrum be shown. Living in constant anxiety. You have been traumatized somewhere along the line. Nobody helped you process through why you carry and have this anxiety in the first place. And it largely stems from, being abandoned, being neglected, having this fear someone is going to abandon you, someone's not going to show up. And these things in themselves are very traumatic. And when they happen as a young child, when we as children, like, we need our parents to show up for us, and when they don't, for whatever the hell reason that is, like, it is traumatic for that child to face and deal with their inner world, our emotions. Like, they don't learn how to do this, so we in come all these like coping mechanisms which are built from trauma, so that we're not adequately helping ourselves heal through anything. Like, it's traumatic when you miss these developmental milestones, and they may not feel like things that are traumatizing to you, but they are. Like, it is extremely traumatizing to have to hide yourself and who you are and not have supportive people around you that, like, lift you up and give you that support and encouragement, and that can help you, like, process what you feel, face what you feel. Like, if you're surrounded by a bunch of people that aren't feeling, they're not on this healing awakening path, like, that's traumatizing as well. It is traumatizing to awaken and to see the mess you're in, and to see all these people around you not doing this work. It hurts, and that is it's further traumatizing because you feel so alone. Being alone can be very traumatizing, and that's what a lot of us feel. A lot of survivors are like, I'm so alone, I can't lean on anyone. Like, my family, my people around me, they're not aware, they're not healing, they're not healthy, they're in their own trauma and they're not getting out. I can't. When you learn you can't lean on the people, the very people around you that you are supposed to fucking lean on, that is traumatizing. So this is just our little tip for the day to help you get that, like, the jump start on, like, what is my trauma? What am I struggling with? What has hurt me? So you can now start processing it, start being the person you needed. And, like, it's a journey. It's a journey. And if you have, what are your signs? What are things that you are recognizing that have traumatized you? Let's get a comment train running. Like, what has hurt you? What has traumatized you? Like, share so it builds awareness and people don't feel so alone, or like something is wrong with them. It's like, nothing is wrong with you. There's just been a lot of unprocessed things that have traumatized and hurt you that you've never got a chance to deal with, because how can you deal with these things if it's been so normalized in your family, in your home, in your early friendships? Like, this is the crux of, like, trauma recovery. So many of us have been so normalized that trauma is a way of life, neglect is a way of life, abandonment is a way of life, everyone's unavailable and avoidant, this is just how it is. But that's not how it is. Like, it's traumatizing to think and keep being mired and marinated in this trauma and thinking there is nothing else. And that's where so many of us get stuck. It's not, life is not meant to be just trauma after trauma and neglect. I neglect myself, I don't see myself, nobody around me sees me, nobody around me connects to me. Like, when you can start recognizing these traumatic things that have happened to you, and you start pivoting and, like, asking, like, why did this happen? Like, what am I missing? Like, where am I not being seen? Where am I not being heard? And how can I start giving this to me? How can I start healing this trauma? And another important thing to know is, like, these traumatizing things, you don't have to carry them forever. They don't have to remain unsolved and, like, building on top of another. Like, once you have the awareness of, like, oh, this happened to me, this thing was traumatic, this thing I survived and keep experiencing has been traumatic, you have to know what it is, and then you have to begin pouring into you and giving to you what you have missed, and that heals it. It involves a lot of feeling, connecting to who you are, giving yourself that permission to be seen, to be heard, to be the real and true you. Like, you have to step up now. And if you're looking for help with this, check out my signature course, Unlocking Life After Trauma and Codependency. I go through all the steps to help you begin building that awareness on what these traumatic things are that happen to you, and then learning how to feel, put names to what you feel, put names to the things you've been through, so you now become the supportive, healthy, healing parent that is taking care of you, which is what you missed in childhood and is why you keep repeating all these traumatic cycles, because you don't know any different. I help you know, learn, and become aware of a different way of life that is outside of more trauma, more neglect, more abandonment, more abuse. I help you connect to you, start loving you, start building up your self-esteem and your self-worth, because all of this comes from being able to see what has happened to you, name what has happened to you, feel safe and feel okay with all your feelings around what has happened to you, what has traumatized you. And then once you can do all these things, you can start working to create a different experience. All right? I love you guys. Happy Trauma Tip Tuesday.